Well, Bob, we're back, and it looks like Joni is still on the phone with a blinker fluid salesman.
Now, Tim, we're watching a classic marketing scam play out right now. When the caller ID on the phone said unknown, it was the first clue that something wasn't right.
Oh, and now she's giving her personal information.
What are you doing?
Oh, and now she's looking for her wallet. Wow.
Unless she hangs up and pulls out the victory right now, things will get ugly real fast.
Well, before it does, let's cut away and remind our viewers what consumer scams are on another episode of...
A consumer scam is when someone tries to trick you into getting your money or personal information. It's a sneaky plan where people pretend to offer something cool or helpful, but it's not what it seems.
Now, the stat sheet says in 2022 that these scams cost Americans over $8 billion.
Ouch! That's a lot of money, Bob.
That's a lot of gravy.
One major type of consumer scam is marketing fraud, where companies make false or misleading claims for financial gain, like intentionally misrepresenting the qualities of a product or service, selling imitations as genuine articles, or hiding the potential harms of a product. Marketing fraud can happen in various ways, including emails, online shopping scams, phone calls, and even the mailbox.
Now, the scammer's playbook includes bait and switch tactics.
Bait and switch is a deceptive marketing tactic where a business starts by attracting customers with an appealing offer. When the customer expresses interest, the business reveals the advertised product or service isn't available and tries to switch them to a less desirable or more expensive item. Let's say your local electronics store sends a flyer saying, "One day only, the new Prager station for 50% off." When you show up, however, they say they're sold out. Instead, they pressure you to buy a different or inferior gaming device at a higher price.
Ah, the old bait and switcheroo, a classic trick play, Bob.
Another type of marketing fraud involves financial investments, the most infamous of which is called a Ponzi scheme, named after Charles Ponzi, a scammer from the 1920s. In this fraud, potential investors are promised high returns with little or no risk. The fraudster uses funds from new investors to pay returns to existing ones, creating the appearance of a successful and profitable investment. The scheme typically collapses when there aren't enough new investors to pay returns to earlier participants.
And the schemes don't end there, Bob.
Oh, not by a long shot, Tim. Now, other tactics include fake online auctions and charities.
Not the online auctions.
In fake online auctions, scammers may list counterfeit or non-existent items for bidding. The scammer may use fake profiles, provide false info to make the auction appear legitimate, or manipulate the bidding process to attract participants to place bids and make payments. Victims may end up losing money without receiving any actual goods or services in return.
What?
Fake charities pose as legitimate ones, exploiting people's goodwill by soliciting donations for phony causes. Fraudsters may create names, logos, and websites that resemble those of well-known and reputable charities. Scammers may use high-pressure tactics such as urgent and persistent requests for donations to create a sense of emergency or crisis.
Well, now that we know something about consumer scams and marketing fraud, let's learn a few things our viewers can do to avoid becoming victims, Bob.
Let's go, Tim.
1. Be cautious about suspicious emails, phone calls, or messages, especially if they ask for personal or financial information. And don't click on links or download attachments from unknown sources. If something doesn't look right, sound right, or make sense, it might be a scam. 2. Always do your research before handing over your money. A simple internet search on a charity, service, or offer will often uncover articles from people who have fallen for the same trick and are trying to warn others. Scammers are also always updating the tactics in their playbook, so make sure to evaluate every situation closely. 3rd, if you've been a victim of a scam, there are resources to help fight back. These include contacting your bank or credit card company to proactively protect your accounts and dispute any fraudulent charges, placing fraud alerts on your credit reports which make it harder for fraudsters to borrow money in your name, and contacting your local law enforcement and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, to file a report. There are also consumer protection laws regarding truth in advertising, contractual fairness, and unfair business practices. These laws aim to create a fair and transparent marketplace, promoting trust between consumers and businesses. These laws can help you get your money back and help prevent the same thing from happening to others.
Well, Bob, although no one wants to get scammed, it happens. And if it does happen, it's good to know that consumers have legal resources to get back on track.
That's right, Tim. But remember, the first line of defense when it comes to protecting consumers like you is you.
Okay, here we are. It's the moment of truth. And Joni hangs up on the scammer!
Incredible! What a...
Let's go! I knew she had it in her.
Watch more at PragerUKids.com, and parents, don't forget to subscribe.